Okay, let's go up the stairs to the parts and components department. Now this seems to be a secure unit up here. We have a lock on the door. Andy, tell us about what we have up here.
Oh, hi there, Peter. Okay, again, this is the component storeroom and stock room. So up here we've got a vast amount of investment in terms of the capacitors, the resistors. So
hence the lock on the door.
Hence the lock on the door, yeah. Again, there's a serious amount of investment here. But again, we've got the semiconductors, the resistors, the carbon resistors, the Beischlag resistors. And if you come around to this side...
Oh my gosh, this is just amazing.
We have here array some of the stocks for the picking for the kits. So again, we get the kit, we pick the components. So we've got the KSI capacitors, some of the blackgate capacitors that we still have in stock here. And then on the left we have, you can see the array of the new silver resistor, the 2-watt non-magnetic silver resistor.
Here they are, here's a close-up. Yeah, let's pick one of these up here. Yeah, there you go. Wow, look at them all. My goodness gosh. And what's in here?
So this is some of the cables. We keep the Palace, which is the digital cable, which is the palladium coated silver cables. So you can see we've got the black Palace used as a digital cable, the brown Palace, which is the interconnect cables, and the white Palace, which goes as a digital or analog cable on the S8. We hardwire on the S8, and a couple of reels of silver solder.
I was just going to say, well, let's see, does this fit? Get that in my pocket. No.
It's only something like $20 a foot or something like that. It's not too bad.
Okay. Let's go over here.
And then if you come around...
Let me go around this way here. And what do we have back here?
Again, this is the capacitor stock, extensive investment on the capacitor stock and the cables behind. So these are all capacitors, all KSI capacitors you can see there, Audio Note standard capacitors.
Wow, look at them all. I have to stoop down to get back in here, viewers.
And then just to the left you can just see we store a number of the larger copper and silver cables on the back there.
I see them back there, yeah.
The ISIS, the Sogon, again there's a vast number of cables.
This is just extraordinary, the inventory, the number of parts, the number of capacitors.
Again, it's a huge investment. The cables we get made in Europe, and again, you know, tooling up for just drawing the cable, minimum is 5 kilometers, you know, per cable.
My goodness.
Yeah, so again, it's a substantial investment.
My gosh. What would you estimate the inventory to be in euro up here? This looks like well over $1 million or more.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be well north of $1 million. Yes.
Well north of $1 million euro.
Yeah.
And this is again another part of the magic of Audio Note is the inventory and the quality of the components and the parts that go into.
Yeah, all the investment
Each
is in
one,
the stock
yep.
in
Yep.
terms of the component side. Not the finished goods, but in terms of the component stock, it's a phenomenal amount of stock holding.
Just amazing, viewers. And more wire back here. Oh my gosh, it just goes on and on and on. And more components over here. We have valve bases here, and this is what your tube fits in, and you solder the leads on the bottom into your component. And then more over here. Andy, what's over here? Gosh.
Again, these are some of the terminals. So
oh my
again,
gosh,
you know,
look at
the
them
P
all.
plugs, the GP plugs, the loudspeaker terminals for mounting onto the amplifier chassis.
This doesn't look like an audio factory. This looks like an audio manufacturing company.
They come out.
Yeah.
Yes, again, vast quantities.
Yeah. And that's what separates the men from the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more resistors.
This is just the scope of the
smaller
amount
voltage.
of the material.
some 2-watt tanks, the blank PCBs, and the half-watt non-magnetic resistors.
My goodness gracious. I don't know of any specialty audio component manufacturer with this scope of inventory. I just don't know of any. And if anyone has it, they're not showing it. But this is just mind-boggling. Good. Well, thank you very much, Andy.
Okay, thank you.
Good.